morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss the topic from module 3rd, that is text editor. This is the last topic of this module. So first we will discuss the introduction regarding text editors. What are these text editors? Okay, or we can see what are these editors. These editors are some software programs that will be installed in your system, and you use these editors to create, to edit, to organize the information on your computer system. These editors will be used to edit the files. That files can be simple text file, some program file, some graphic files. So there are so many editors available that can be used for different purposes. Some editor can be used to edit only text file, or some can be used to edit some graphic files only. Some editor will be used to work for programming files. So these are the editors that will help our user to interact with computer, to work on computer, to create, organize the information on computer. There are so many editors available like Notepad, WordPad. These are common on Windows operating system. Other than that, VI editor, Pico editor, these are editor available on Unix operating system. Features normally associated with the text editor, if we consider a text editor, that is used to edit a text file. A text file contain only a sequence of lines. So if we want to edit that text files, so we will use text editors. And what are the features mainly available in text editor is moving the cursor, deleting the content, adding the content, replacing the content, pasting, copying the content, finding some data, finding some content, replacing some content, and finally saving the content. So this is the brief introduction about editors. Now the second topic that we will discuss is the overview of the editing process. In this we will discuss how the editing process will be carried out in the editors. So in that, there will be some steps that we have to follow when we are doing the editing. So first, an editor is what, as we have already discussed, it is a software. In that, using that, we can create a document. We can edit a document. So what a document is, as I already told you, it can be a file that belong to some program, that can belong to some text file, some tables, charts, diagrams, some photographic file. So these editor will be used to edit these kind of files. Text editor, as we have already discussed, is a one which will only work with characters, the words or lines. But when we are going to edit any kind of file, we have to perform some steps. We have to work on some steps. Whether we are working with graphic file, whether we are working with diagrams, whether we are working with the tables. When we want to do some editing work, we have to perform these steps. So these steps are like selecting the part of target document to be viewed and manipulated, determine how to format this view on the line and how to display it, specify and execute operations that modify the target document, update the view appropriately. Means first we have to select the part from whole document. From whole document we will go through whole document and select the part. So second, determine how to format this view on line. Means whatever the line we have selected, we will now determine what views, what formatting, what editing you want to do on this particular line. Then specify and execute the operation that modify the document. We will click on the commands to perform some formatting and then update the view appropriately in the final document. So these are the things we have to do when we are working with our files, any files using text editor. So these steps are defined under four headings, that is traveling, filtering, formatting and editing. As traveling, I told you, is a selection of part of document, and in that we will travel through the document to locate the area where we want to perform some editing. Okay, traveling specifies where the area of interest is. Second step is defined as filtering, means out of all the document we will filter, we will select a portion of document that we want to edit. Selection of what to be viewed and manipulated is controlled by filtering. So in filtering we will select the point of interest, lines that we want to edit. Then is the third point will be defined as formatting. We will determine what formatting we want to do, what result it will show. Okay. And fourth is editing, is actual implementation of formatting on the selected text. So these are the 4 points defined under the headings. Now, there, as I told you, there can be two types of editor. One is a text editor, okay, another can be graphics, diagrams editor. But generally, two types of editor we can define also. One is manuscript, another is program oriented. Manuscript means only work with the characters, words, lines, sentence, paragraph, simple text. But program-oriented editor will work with programming language concept, programming language syntax. Like it will use to edit some keywords, identifiers, some executable statements, comments, some control sections. So program oriented editors are those through which we can create a code that will be executed later on. So till now what we have discussed, that what are the editors, the program, software program that are used to create the information in your system. And these editors can be text editors that only work with some text sequence of lines, or they can be some other editors also, graphical editors, diagram editors, table editors. Okay, so a fourth step that we have to do is traveling, then filtering, then formatting, and then final editing. And there can be one more type of a data that we can call it as a program oriented, that will only work with the programming concept, programming syntax and structures. So this is regarding the editors. So now the next topic is the user interface of our editor. Like from the line we are clear, like what will be the interfaces a user can use to work with editor. So what will be the interfaces that are available so that user can interact with the editor. So there can be different interfaces that are available, but these all interfaces can be defined under different categories. Like there can be a interface that are based on editing system, means how editing will be done. Okay, there can be a interfaces that are available on the base of how editing will be done. So they can be based on that, There will be two types. One is a line editor, another will be the screen editor. Means in line editor is the editor in which all the editing will be done line by line. Means at one time we can edit one line. Okay. So that line, that can be a sequence of 80 characters. Okay, image lines. Means if we say one image is created using different lines, so line by line we can edit. So that is a line editor in which we will work on line to edit the content. Second is a screen editor. Means screen editor means we will cover the whole document for editing. We will cover the whole document for editing. Like in that it is written, define a word in which a document is represented as a text lines. So screen editor will work with the document that will have some text line that will move from top to bottom, downward, and from left to right. User can cut out some of the part from the document in a rectangular subset of this plane. User can select some part of this whole document and later on move, user can edit that particular content, or user can move that cutout to another place, move it up, move it down. In any way, user can work on that selected content. So these are two editors based on the editing, how editing will be done. One is line editor, another is screen editor. So now, as I told you, all the interfaces can be divided into different categories. So first category we have done now. The user interfaces is also concerned with the input devices that will be used to enter the data, the output devices, the interaction language that will be used to interact with the editors, that will be used to interact. So now we will first discuss the input device. What will be the input devices that can be used to work with these editors? Okay, so the input devices that are used to enter the element, the devices that are used to enter the element of text being edited, to enter the commands, okay, to designate the editable element. So input devices will be used to enter the element that we want to edit. Enter some command, like we can select the command to give the bold effect. We can select the command to increase the size, to increase, change the color, to insert a chart. So these all things will be done using some the input devices. We can input some command. We can input some text that we want to edit. So based on that, there will be input devices. One will be the text device, another will be the button device, and third will be the locator device. So from the name, it is clear text device means used to enter text. Text input device means text will be entered using these devices. So it is also called text or string device. Typically, we can say typewriter, keyboards, where we type some keys and that keys will be given as a input. In typewriter, that key will be pressed on the paper, and in keyboard that key will be entered and visible on our screen. Later on, second will be the button device. Button means we will click some button and the action of that, the result of that button will be displayed on the screen. These button can be used to select some command, to select some choice. Like if I will click on the drop down menu, using button I can select which choice I want to apply on my content. So button or choice devices generate an interrupt or a set of system flag usually used for application program, means whatever the application program you are using, in that there will be so many choices. Menu bar will be there. In menu bar so many choices will be there. So using this you can select some choice, and that will generate a interrupt or a system flag. So other than that, other than the menu bars available in application program, there will be other buttons also, like special functions key that are available on keyboard. Every function key will perform differently in different application programs that you are working on. So you can use functions key to perform different action, to select your choice what you want to do in your application program. Alternatively, buttons can be simulated in software by displaying text string or a symbol on the screen. Means if you will select on, like if I will select on this, I will click on this, I will click on this one text box disappear in which some information will be regarding the selectors. So that is that I'm clicking this thing, some information further came, I will select, I will click on this, I will select on this. So these are the called like button and choice. I have select one choice and something will happen. Now is the locator device. Locator, from the name it is, we can locate some location. We can select some location. So locator device, these are two-dimensional analog to digital converter. Means we will select something, that signal will be converted from analog to digital. Digital means that computer can understand. And we are giving the position. Suppose if I will move a mouse slightly left or right, that analog to digital signal will be given to computer, and accordingly the cursor on a screen will move. Okay, so these are the locator device that you can use to locate some icon, locate some command, locate some content. So they are two-dimensional analog to digital converter that position a cursor on a screen by observing the user movement of the device. Means how much user is moving that device, in which direction user is moving the device. The most common devices are mouse and the tablet. So how much we will move the mouse, the content will be, our cursor will be moved in that direction, and that much amount it will remove. Now what are the tablets? Tablet is a flat rectangle panel, kind of panel that will be in flat, rectangular, and electromagnetical sensed. So there will be one pen-like device called stylus. How much you will move the pen on the tablet, accordingly the cursor or movement will be done on the screen. Okay, so it is written that similar to mouse is over the surface. Like mouse, we kept mouse on the surface and we move the mouse, cursor is moving. Same, we will move the stylus on the tablet, and accordingly the cursor will move on the screen. Tablet return a system program, return to system program the coordinate of the position on data tablet at which the stylus is currently located. Where the stylus is currently pointing on the tablet. Okay, that coordinate will get recorded and that will be returned to system. Then program will map this data tablet coordinate to screen tablet and accordingly move the cursor. Like what coordinate is recorded in the tablet, that will be mapped with the coordinate of the screen, and on that coordinate of the screen cursor will. So these are the locator devices. So using these devices, user can interact with editor. So these are also one of the interface, user interface for text editor. Next is the voice input devices. Some devices may recognize the voice. Using voice, what we will give as a command, they will accordingly respond. So they may also use as an interface to interact with the text editor. So voice input devices will translate the spoken word with their textual equivalent. What we have spoken, that will be converted into a text equivalent and may prove to be the text input device. In future, we can say a text input because actually a text is as given as a input. Now, still this, we have discussed that there can be interfaces based on editing system, that is line editor and screen editor. Then based on input devices, how we can interact with the system, that is the text devices, locator devices, and one more is there, that is button and choice device. So the next, voice input devices that will recognize the voice and accordingly give the command. So the next output devices that we will cover in the next lecture. So thank you, students.